The day he fired me, I didn't even flinch. Not because it didn't hurt, it did, but because I knew something he didn't. The system he'd built his empire on? I was the one who designed it. Every report, every access log, every automation pipeline mine. He thought removing me would erase my fingerprints. He was wrong. I'd spent 3 years building something far more powerful. And when I walked out that door, I took the kill switch with me. It started 6 months before that firing meeting. The morning he stopped saying good morning. Little things, subtle at first. Meetings I wasn't invited to. Projects I built suddenly being reassigned. And those fake smiles in the hallway from people who used to ask me for help every damn day. I knew the company was changing the moment we merged with StraightCore. Overnight, our culture turned from teamwork to survival. They called it restructuring, but what it really meant was new executives looking for heads to roll to prove their worth. And I apparently was the perfect trophy. David, my boss, started treating me like I'd suddenly forgotten how to code. Every suggestion I made was too risky. Every fix too slow. Meanwhile, he paraded some shiny new consultant around, some guy named Eric, like he'd just discovered the next tech messiah. I still remember sitting in that glass-walled conference room while Eric explained my own system to me, line by line, like he'd written it himself. David just nodded, pretending to understand half of it. That's when I knew. They were setting me up. So I stopped arguing. I stopped volunteering for fixes. And instead, I started quietly watching. Logging access patterns. Mapping who touched what. Building a digital breadcrumb trail nobody could see but me. Because when people think they're getting away with something, they get sloppy. And David, for all his swagger, was about to make the biggest mistake of his career. The night shifts became my sanctuary. When the office lights dimmed and the chatter died, that's when I really worked. No interruptions. No fake compliments. Just me, my code, and a growing sense of purpose. See, I wasn't building a weapon, not yet. I was building insurance. A hidden protocol buried deep inside the company's architecture. It started as a diagnostic tool, something no one questioned because it improved efficiency. But underneath the harmless scripts, it tracked everything. Every unauthorized access, every deleted email, every hidden folder. And most importantly, it tracked him. David had a habit of cutting corners, forging timestamps, redirecting resources, using system logs to cover his tracks. But my protocol didn't care about cover stories. It watched, recorded, and mirrored data in a way no IT auditor could ever trace. He thought he'd boxed me out of the system after my access expired. What he didn't realize was I'd built the expiration handler. My credentials didn't die, they replicated. A ghost account under a fake project tag, buried 3 layers deep in the automation core. While he prepped his next big presentation, I watched him rewrite my name out of the project credits. Line by line, slide by slide. But what he didn't know was that my system, the one he was bragging about, wasn't loyal to him. It was loyal to its creator. So I smiled. Let him steal the spotlight. Let him think he'd won. Because sometimes, the best revenge doesn't start with a fight. It starts with silence, and a system waiting for one single trigger. The trigger came disguised as a performance review. David called it a formality. Just to keep HR happy, he said, flashing that politician smile that never reached his eyes. The meeting lasted 8 minutes. Long enough for him to read from a pre-written script and tell me my role was being restructured due to alignment changes. Translation. They'd already decided. I was done. But I played my part perfectly, calm, compliant, professional. I even thanked him for the opportunity. Inside, though, something cold clicked into place. That same evening, when security escorted me out with my box of half-dead plants and forgotten coffee mugs, I left behind one last goodbye. A quiet line of code buried so deep it blended with the system's heartbeat. 2 weeks later, StraightCore hosted their big investor showcase, David's golden moment. The one where he'd unveil my system, rename it, and take full credit for its success. I watched the live stream from my apartment, lights off, laptop glowing. The boardroom camera panned over smiling executives, expensive suits, and a wall-sized dashboard pulsing with performance data. My dashboard. He started his pitch with confidence. We built this from the ground up. But then his screen flickered. Once. Twice. Behind him, the charts started rearranging themselves. Numbers vanishing. Logs rewriting. Audit trails blinking with new timestamps, all pointing straight back to him. The system wasn't crashing. It was speaking. And as the investors began whispering, David froze mid-sentence. He didn't know it yet, but the system he stole had just begun to tell the truth. At first, no one understood what they were seeing. The investors leaned forward, squinting at the dashboard as the numbers bled red. Server activity spiked, files surfaced, confidential documents, internal memos, and timestamped approvals that didn't exist a minute ago. David fumbled with the remote, his confident tone cracking. "It's just a visual glitch," he muttered, trying to kill the feed. But the feed didn't die, it duplicated. Every attempt to close it triggered another window. Another layer of truth peeling open. The system began auto-streaming to every monitor in the room. Financial reports, data transfers, emails with his name in the metadata. The kind of evidence that would end a career in seconds. He turned pale. His so-called consultant, Eric, started backing away. And then, right on cue, my final line of code executed. System authority override. Creator logged in. My old credentials, ghosted and dormant, suddenly blinked alive on the projection screen. My name, in bold, glowing white against black. The room went silent. David just stood there, staring at it like it was a ghost. The beauty of it all? I didn't have to lift a finger. The system wasn't designed to destroy him. It was designed to reveal him. Every lie he told, every file he falsified, every stolen credit was now authenticated, time-stamped, and public. By the time the stream shut down, David's future was over. HR froze his accounts. Legal started digging. And StraightCore's golden boy vanished from the company website overnight. But me? I wasn't done yet. Because revenge isn't complete when they fall. It's complete when they remember who made them fall. Weeks passed before anyone reached out. Not to apologize, corporations don't do that, but to discuss potential consulting opportunities. StraightCore needed someone to stabilize the system, since apparently, no one else understood it. I didn't answer right away. I let them sweat. Let the fear sink in that their billion-dollar infrastructure was still pulsing under my code. When I finally responded, I didn't demand money. I demanded control. Full remote access, contract autonomy, and my name restored as the system's original architect. They agreed in less than 24 hours. David's replacement introduced me at the next quarterly meeting, not as a contractor, but as the visionary developer behind StraightCore's automation intelligence. The same title he'd erased. As I spoke that day, walking them through the rebuilt dashboard, I caught my reflection on the glass. Calm. Composed. Unbothered. I realized revenge wasn't about destroying someone else's career. It was about reclaiming mine, on my terms. Before logging off, I opened the admin console one last time. My cursor hovered over a single file, buried in the root directory. diff_ILO. I didn't delete it. I encrypted it. Left it there. A reminder to anyone who thought about crossing the system's creator again. The company still runs on my architecture. The executives still quote my insights like gospel. But deep in the system's code, beneath every line they rely on, there's a hidden signature they'll never find. One message encrypted into the core. You can steal my work. You can take my job. But you'll never control my system.